Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale, and of course, Josh Prophet, our service director. And I got a couple guys sitting here beside me. I can't believe you guys sandwiched me in here already.
Oh, yeah, you ain't getting away.
No kidding.
You are not getting away.
We got Steve and Bobby here from what's the deal in these shirts, man?
Oh,
I didn't know.
you know.
Josh, don't you feel left out? We don't have a shirt like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I've heard that to so many people.
I bet you have too. So
The shirts come up for a pit crew. You know,
Pit
we
crew.
gotta look professional.
I get it. Yeah.
And these shirts aren't cheap either. They cost a little bit of money, you know, and I get them for all the people that help and pit crew. And we look, you know, halfway decent.
Got to look image, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we got some exciting stuff happening at Kansas International Dragway, right?
Yes, sir.
Tonight. So, Bobby, Steve, take it away. Tell everybody what's happening out there. And, of course, this is a call-in show, 316-462-3673. Get a great price package valued over $130. Josh, we'll get to what's in that here in a minute because everybody's probably wondering what these two guys are doing here.
Yep.
Steve, let you start on this deal, and then I'll
Okay.
help you out a little bit.
Well, tonight we got what are called our fall nationals that we would typically have every year. We'd have 3 events that we do: spring, summer, and fall. And we're doing the fall nationals tonight, which we will have varying cars. We're going to have our door slammer classes. We're going to have the pro mods. We'll have our 580 class. We'll have a 750 class. And then something that's a little bit different this year is we typically run a 470. That's Bob's class. But what we're going to do is we're going to slow it down so we can get a few more cars closer to that 5-second index in there. We're going to run a 490, which
You used to run a 470, didn't you?
Yeah, we used to run a 470. The 490 is, like I said, it'll bring maybe some guys into the race that are typically around that 5-second index, you know, because anything can happen out there. So, you know, that time factor is not a huge delta difference there. So we're going to be looking at a 490 class to try to get a better car count in there and
Well,
mixes it up a little bit too.
The 470 on a door slammer is a very, very fast door slammer car. And a lot of people don't really have that. There's some cars out there, but they don't do that. So we turn around and we backed it up to a 490. So we get more car count. Let's see if that'll work. I don't know. I mean, 490 is a fast door slammer too. So,
Yeah.
You know, and it's a fun class. Scott from AutoSmart, he's putting in him and Lonnie, which owns the track, putting in 20 grand. There's going to be $10,000 up for first place on pro mods tonight. That's crazy. So that's
20 grand.
20 grand.
The second place gets what?
3,000. And then it goes from there because there's going to be a lot of money through the other classes. And they put a lot of money. And then we got some sponsors too that we went out and chased out and put it together. So
that's in the pro mod class.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
$10,000 in the pro mod class.
Okay, so then what's your classes pay?
Okay, in our class, Scott and Lonnie,
the 490 class.
The 490 class, all the 750 and then the 490 and the 580 class, they're putting $1,000 a piece in, and then me and Steve went out and raised $2,800 on top of that. So it depends on the car count. I'll put that money where the cars are.
Yeah.
So we got more money to play with.
The other thing that we got going on tonight too, which is, you know, this is pretty much all fast cars. We've got the funny cars. We're going to have funny cars out there tonight, which is, you know, the big boys that are running in the low 3s. I'm sure Sandlin will be out there, Brandon, and we're looking real forward to seeing those guys. Those guys really put on a good show, and we like when they go before us and lay rubber down for us. So
if I'm a spectator, what time do I need to be at Kansas International Dragway this afternoon?
We're going to start early today because it's not going to go all night like normal. This don't have anything to do with the kids' dragsters are on Sunday and then stuff like that. So today's just heads up cars. They're going to get them done. I would think if everything goes right, we'll get out of there by 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, but if you didn't want to see the qualifying and everything, I would say if you wanted to get there, first race is probably around between 4 and 5. You think?
Yeah. I would think so.
So 4 o'clock minimum. I mean 4, but be the latest 5 o'clock to be out there.
If you want to see a lot of testing, 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
11 o'clock somewhere there.
Okay, and what you know it costs to get in or whatever? So people know what to
it's
get in.
$20 a head, and then kids and something are free, I think, or under.
Probably 12.
12 and under is free.
12 and under is free, and it's $20 a person out there and stuff like that. So come out and have a great time because we're gonna put on a good show.
So that's tonight. Today it's Kansas International Dragway. Okay, you just call your classes just by the time. You don't have a specific.
Right, we're index. We put on the index races for, that way you can't go over that time. And because there's a lot of faster cars out there, and sometimes you just don't have the money to compete with them. So
Okay, when you go 490, what's the mile an hour of that class? Just thinking of question people here.
We're running a good 150 mile an hour in the 8th mile. 140 to 50 miles.
Okay, so now when you go to the 580 class, what will you be running?
About 120.
120.
Okay, there's a 750 class too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're gonna see how many cars show up for that, and we might move that down to 7.0 or maybe 6. We'll just see what they want to vote on.
Yeah,
and go from there.
There's a lot of events going on. I mean, you guys got a car show in your parking lot this afternoon at 4. There's the air show.
Yep.
I always just thought, if you live in Wichita long enough, just look up, you can see a plane who gives it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, no, I've been out there before.
Down,
It's fun. Hey, I tell you what, I'm excited. We're making the first debut on the Corvette today. The Corvette is making its first run down the track. So
yeah,
let's talk about this Corvette. What Corvette is this? So everybody kind of knows what you got going on there and everything.
Well, there's a 63 split window candy apple red Corvette that was built and raced back in California years ago. It's always been a blower car. What we did is Randy Stedham had bought the car from a gentleman here in town. I bought it as a roller. And then Randy come across a motor for me, which was a 632. And basically, I just loaded it all up in the trailer and took it to Bob and said, here, put it together.
Yeah.
And so we've changed the car completely over. It's not a blower car anymore. It's an all-nitrous car.
So you said 632 big block.
Mm-hmm.
So is that injected? Is it?
No, it's naturally aspirated.
There it is, right there. It is right there. You can all see it on my phone.
Here, what you need to do is take this way up here.
Oh, okay, up there. Yeah.
It's hard to get that
you got to
far
be right up in front of it.
Yeah, it's
but
right
better
there.
yet, instead of seeing it right there, why don't you just come out tonight and
Yeah,
everybody just come out?
let's see it in action.
I'll be driving it.
You'll be driving. What time is that going to happen?
That should take its first run down the track probably around 1 or 2 o'clock.
Okay, and then what kind of speed are you thinking that's going to roll?
It should be a 490.
It should be it'll be faster than 490, but we're going to dial it into 490. We're thinking we'll be real close to 490 on the motor. It's already been tuned.
So if you're just going to get ready to go wide open, what would she do?
We're thinking she'll be a 440 car.
440?
430. I don't know.
If we let her sing in the quarter mile.
Yeah. No,
in the 8th mile.
Yeah. I mean, if it.
So you guys pretty much racing 8th mile now instead of quarter?
Yeah, it's safer. I mean, these cars today are coming out with so much horsepower that they're doing as fast now in the 8th that they used to do in the quarter. So can you imagine if they just let them roll in the quarter? If you ever had a wreck, it would be not even thoughtful. You just think, hey, he's done.
Well, the other side of that is I'm sure it's a lot friendlier on the budget too, not
easier on parts. Yeah, it's easier on parts. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, I like the 8th mile better because the faster car, if he snoozes on the light, you don't have much real estate to reel you in.
To pick him back up.
Yeah.
I
mean, in the 8th mile, you snooze, you really lose because you don't have much real estate to make it up.
Snooze, you lose.
Yes, sir. We know about that, right, Phil?
Yeah, sure do. Trust me. Okay, so you guys, looks like you got a bunch of sponsors you need to go through and thank for all your stuff you got going on. So who's going first? Okay, got to do that a couple times through here.
Yep, we're going to talk about that. Steve, you want to lay out the 750, 580 class sponsors?
Yep. First of all, and we've always appreciated everything you guys do. Mel Hambelton Ford, never been an issue. Every time we come to you guys, you're more than happy to reach in the pocketbook and give
Phil
us
and
money.
Lisa's been good to us.
Phil and Lisa let us do the show and promote our stuff, and just always appreciate it. So it's just one of those things, where we're trying to keep something alive in Wichita, and all these businesses around here are contributing to the cause. We really enjoy a lot of what we do, and without the sponsorships, we wouldn't really be able to do that.
Needless to say, too, that Mel Hambelton's got nitrous fill stations. We get our bottles filled here. And if you need any parts and stuff like that, they have a lot of stuff on the counter that you can just come in and grab.
Yeah.
And you take
the race suits, shoes. I mean, anything, all the Traxxas stuff. I mean,
we like to support our sponsors.
Yeah. I mean, I just live up the street here, so it's very convenient for me just to run down here. I got 2 bottles sitting over there, and hopefully I don't forget.
I saw them as I walked in the door.
Yeah.
And we're very blessed that you guys do that. Phil, you and Lisa have been very, very generous to our racing.
There's a lot of people that work here that are race fans and love to go fast and all that kind of stuff, whether it's dirt, whether it's drag, whether it's Traxxas, whether it's motorcycles. It's a lot of fun.
Right. Need for speed.
Well,
is
this
part
Traxxas
of it.
thing, I was on Facebook last night just tootling around. And I mean, these cars now, what some of these guys are doing, they're making these cars, these model cars, the Traxxas cars.
Yeah.
That's a big deal now. They're racing those things and betting
Oh.
money and
Right.
trophies and all sorts of stuff. So I saw one last night. It looked like a Top Fuel dragster. And I mean, these things, it's incredible. I mean, they're
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're gone. They're obviously these. Chris at Wichita Dyno has contributed every race. Great guy. We actually tuned the Corvette and Bob's car down there, the Chevy 2, on the wheel dyno. We go by wheel dyno because we get that rear horsepower. We know exactly what we're putting down to the rear. Chris has always been great about taking care of us. Oil changes.
One thing, you go to Chris, we put it on the dyno and we check her nitrous and everything. When you flip the switch on and everything does its job, you don't have to worry about burning up pistons and stuff. When you leave his shop, that you can guarantee everything is going to go down the track because you want to make the next round.
Yeah, you're ready. Once you leave there, you're ready to take her down the track.
As long as the parts do the job.
Yep. Next, there's this guy in Newton. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it.
Oh, Lord.
It's Stall Racing.
He's pretty shirts on and everything.
Yeah. He's built all my cars. I mean, anything from, simple oil changes all the way up to building race cars. Bob can do it. He does it. I mean, drive in his driveway. You'll try to find a place to park. There's cars always there lined up, ready to be taken care
Yeah, I
of.
do most anything, rear ends and all that stuff. But
So you actually build a car complete, or somebody just brings it to you and you actually
no, if the car, I don't do the welding and chassis and stuff like that. Now I can, do rear ends and their trannies and put the thing together. But chassis work and work, I have other people do that.
Yeah.
Which is another one that we talk about. Holzman, Rob and the family out there. They're Danny and Mama Holzman. I always call her Mama Holzman. They always take care of us. I call them, and it's always a pleasure to work with them. They
They're
know
all
their stuff.
open arms.
They're very good people. They'll be out there today. Rob will be running his car. So it'll be a good event. We definitely appreciate Holzman and the family. We've got a clear direction. This is one of our sponsors, Mario. He's sponsored almost every race that we've had to. I mean, he's a little.
What his business is drug rehab counseling.
Yeah, if you have an addiction of some sort,
alcohol or something, DUIs and stuff like that. That's what Mario does.
Yeah, he can help you get through that. I mean, Mario has some cars. Hopefully he'll get out. I mean, I think he's a little bit scared this year.
Yeah. Oh, Mario, he talks a big stick. He wants to come out and play with us, and then race day. It's like a ghost. So
yeah.
Okay, Mario, getting called out here.
yeah, I know it. I told him I was going to do it too, but it's okay. It's okay if you're scared. You're scared. It's all right. We don't got to bring it out in the open or nothing.
Well, I mean, if his cars, if he's scared to race his car, maybe he'll race us on foot.
He'd
have a better chance probably.
But no, Mario is a great guy. He
Yeah.
is busy. His kids are in basketball and sports and stuff like that. He is a very big supporter of his kids, and he puts his kids first. So he does run the world chasing that. So
Yeah.
but I still think he's scared.
Excuse me. And then we got Warren Blanc over at Warren's Automotive there in Keachai.
Keachai. Yeah. He sells race fuel too. He does all that stuff. And
Has the dyno,
cars.
has the motor dyno.
He
doesn't
has
have
an
a wheel
engine dyno.
He's got an engine dyno. If
we
we
usually take our cars there.
over to Warren's and do that. Warren mufflers, I mean, anything from basic mechanicship up all the way to, basically rebuilding cars if you have to as well.
Warren to be out there today, and
Selling fuel.
in the racing world, he ain't no slouch. He's been
Yep.
around. He races, and when you pull
What's he
up,
race?
he has a Camaro,
Camaro.
What is it, second gen Camaro, or
Second or third, I'm not sure. Yeah,
second. But anyway, he shows up, and you better be on your game.
that old man can cut a light. And
Yeah.
he's a bracket racer, so they just got back from Topeka. So
They travel. They get way more races underneath their belt than I do. I hardly ever race. So when I show up to be on my game, because when you race on race day and you're not on your game, you can just slap yourself, because it's like they say, you snooze, you lose. I mean, you cut that light, you got to, if you get beat that way, then you can't feel bad. But if you're cooking hamburgers on the starting line, boys, I can't help you.
yeah.
Hey, Josh, you been cooking hamburgers on the start line?
There are some
Yeah.
people, if that light comes on, you think, what are you doing?
Yep. We'd like to give recognition to Tony Loomis, which is actually our crew chief. Tony is with Procon Construction out of Hutchinson, Kansas. He does
concrete.
concrete.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, he can do it all. I mean,
And he does beautiful work. He
Yep.
has pride in his work, and he's really crazy about if it ain't right, he make it right.
yeah, he's actually, I've contracted him to do work for us at our company for cutting pits and doing foundation walls. And I mean, if it has the word concrete in it, he does it. And
Really?
and very good
Okay,
at it.
very good.
And like I said, Holzman, we'd like to thank the Holzman guys family out there for taking care of us. There's a lot of people on the side that don't get the recognition that they should. Daryl Palmer, which is Pops.
Yeah, he's known me since I was 17. I walked in his shop as a young punk, and he never had no idea we'd be building so many motors.
Yeah. And then the company I work for, Acme Dock, we throw in a little money every year just to try to sweeten the purse up a little bit. So we're going to continue to do so. We're going to hopefully pull some more sponsors next year, get some more people out there. Without the spectators, guys, it's just really, it's not that fun. We love to see the youngsters come out tomorrow, what the track's doing, so that it's not, some of the biggest complaints we had is that, okay, you'll show up out there at 5 or 6 o'clock in the night and then you'll run till 2 o'clock in the morning. Not so much by the racers, but by the spectators. I mean, that's a long
time to set there for spectators.
Right.
Agreed.
So what they're talking about doing now, which is kind of a prototypical run tomorrow and today, is going to be tomorrow. They'll do the junior dragsters, the bikes, and I always call them the divas, but the ladies. Where they come out and they're allowed to get in their cars and they run down the track and they get to do what we do and kind of see, what we go through when we're up there. It's easy to look and say, well, why did you jump the line, or why are you so late? Wait till you get up there and try to do it yourself. When you got, 2,000 horsepower under the hood and you're,
that old peer pressure gets to you, doesn't it?
You'll be grilling hamburgers too.
Yeah.
And Lonnie told me they putting in $5,000 tomorrow for the bikes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he texted me that today.
Yep. So you got to come out and see Sean Roetto. I'm sure he'll be there. Sean's one of those good bike racers. I just know him. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for probably about 30 years now. So, come out tomorrow afternoon if you have nothing going on. I think the track opens tomorrow at 10 or 11. They're going to start that off early tomorrow as well because it's Sunday.
Well, Goose is usually listening to our show. So, Goose, if you want to call in here too and give us some updates on everything else too, be great. So 316-462-3673. Love to hear from somebody. You got anybody listening?
Okay, I got some sponsors. Now this is the 490. This is the 490. It's a little faster class. We're gonna have fun with that tonight. And I got to put my glasses on when you get older.
That's right. Yeah,
it just
you got to
comes
do
with the
that.
show,
Trust
man.
me. I try to take them off, and then I got to put them right back on.
We got Newton Valley Center. We got two Sonics in Newton and Valley Center. Rick Bernard, he's been a very good sponsor. He loves racing. He loves circle track too. He goes to the circle track races too, Phil. Yeah, he's out. He loves that too. And and he loves drag racing. And Rick, me and him go back a long ways. And
so he's got the Sonics in Newton and Valley Center.
Yes, sir.
Really?
He owns like 17 Sonics, I think.
Really?
Yeah. He probably makes more money than you.
I doubt it.
That's hard to believe in.
It is hard to believe.
But anyway,
God owes Phil money, or Phil owes God money. I don't know, one way or the other.
Rick does very good in Sonics, and he's been doing it, and very good contributor to our race. He never gives us no problem. Then we got Auto Smart, and Scott Baruth. He owns Smart Choice Powertrain. He just opened that business. He sells a lot of motors and stuff for cars. And Scott, I can't say enough about Scott because Scott don't even race, and he is so he loves racing so much. He don't want nothing to go wrong with our track. He wants it to still be here. He leans out there and puts his 2 cents in and tries to keep things going toward the right direction to keep that track in Wichita.
Scott's son works for us.
Yes.
As a technician. Okay. So Nelson, and he's a great person too. So, and Scott was just in here this week and ordered a new Maverick from us. And
cool.
So,
well, I'm telling you, Scott,
from a guy that doesn't have to do anything, he sure puts in a lot of money and effort.
You would think that he was the main racer out there. He's not though. But so I get on him because
do you know much about his? He didn't tell me much about his new business or whatever. But the Smart Choice Powertrain
he has a lot of motors and drive. I think it's transmissions and.
I walked through the shop the other day. He took me through their crate motors. Anything that LS, Ford, anything. I mean, he's probably got over 100 motors in there right now. I mean,
Wow.
ready to go. So if you called him and said, hey, I've got a 5.0 motor that I needed right away to put in, you can call him. He probably has it in stock, ready to go. It's boxed up, ready to go, just like a regular crate motor.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, he, like I said, can't say enough about him. Automatic Morgan, in Wichita, owns a garage out south. And then AS Metal Recycling. Okay, now that's Goose. Okay, they call him Goose. His real name's Lonnie, and Lizzie's his wife. And they have aerospace support and big rim racing. Okay, and Goose is the one that came in and rented the track to try to get things going and keep it going. And he loves racing too. So
He's got about every kind of race car there. I think there is, bikes and everything he has.
yeah, he likes it all. Yeah,
I think he said he'll be out there tomorrow on his bike. He'll be there today, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, sure.
But I think he said yesterday to us, as we pulled our trailers out there, he told us he'd be out there tomorrow racing one of his bikes.
And we were talking about it. I said, one time I said, you're crazy, Goose. I said, I've seen a motorcycle driver wreck and slide down the racetrack all the way down. And he said, yeah, I've done that before. I said, oh my, okay. So that just don't sound fun.
Yeah. Well, the
All
story
the
behind that
leathers.
was he told us that the only leathers that he had on him was the winter leathers, which are thicker. And he said when he fell off
That
the
was
bike,
nice,
it
yeah.
was kind of predestined
saved
that he
him.
had that stuff on, because when he went down, sliding down the track on his back and rolling and things, he had the thicker leathers on, which protected him.
Could you imagine falling off a bike at 130 mile an hour and sliding down
No.
the pavement?
No.
Just
Doesn't sound fun.
That does not sound fun.
Yeah.
So
No.
I'd rather have a cage around me. All right, then we got CJ's Automotive and Tire, Dave Norman in Newton. Dave has been such a super guy, and he loves drag racing, and all you got to do is call him, and he is up and all over that. He's all in to win on that deal. So then we got now I got to explain this because you don't listen to it wrong, okay? It's a business. It's called Kiss My Axe. Axe, not
AXE.
the other one, okay? Here is the flyer on that, just to let you know. Okay,
It's not ASS. It's
right.
AXE.
You can
Okay, so what kind of
interpret it
business
wrong.
is that?
It's a business in Old Town, and they have axes, and they, it's a bar like, and then you can throw these axes against this, it has these
Big wooden stumps.
big wooden deals on the wall, and it has numbers that you can, get points for, and that's what it is. It's a business. So
Kind of like darts with an axe.
right. So Vanessa Fletcher, she opened that business in Old Town, and so just
How'd you run into her?
Well, I didn't. It's Treg from M&H Repair. It's his wife.
Okay.
Okay. So he's sponsoring and making her business.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how it is.
Have you been down there to throw that
I
out?
have not.
He was there.
I have not, but
Have
I
you been down
have.
there?
I haven't. I was telling Bobby that we need to get our wives together and take them out and go down there one night.
Yeah.
Preferably when
Safety first.
Yeah.
their
They
vibe
got
is positive.
fences up and stuff. Yeah, that would not be good walking in the way of that thing. So an axe inside of your head would not be pretty.
Yeah.
Probably not.
So
I have some friends that have went down there. It's a real controlled environment. It's actually kind of like there's lanes, so they have walls up in between the individuals. So I guess maybe you pay by the throw or the hour. I don't know how it goes, but they've got these controlled environments where everybody's fine, and they don't allow you to just get sloppy drunk and start going Texas Chainsaw Massacre on everybody.
right. Then we got Daryl Palmer. Daryl, I walked in his shop when I was 17 years old, and
Where's his shop at?
His is in Furley, Kansas. Little
Where's
old
that?
town. Well, you take Greenwich Road from 96
Mm-hmm.
out east and go straight north, and you'll run into little town Furley.
How far?
Probably about 10 miles.
Oh, really? Okay, he's that
Mhm.
close. I thought he's further away than that.
Mm-mm.
Never heard of Furley.
Yep, it's a little town. So walked
Just-
in there when I was 17 years old, and then wanted to build a motor for my car, and then I learned to build motors, and he has been a blessing to me because he does all my machine
And he
work.
races quite a bit, doesn't he?
Daryl don't race. Daryl's 79 years old.
Oh, so that's not, who's the Palmer that races the funny pro mod?
That's Scott.
That's Scott.
Scott
Palmer.
Palmer, okay.
This ain't the right one. That
So
ain't-
Daryl's still building motors and stuff's what he's doing.
yeah, he's out there in that shop every day. He'll die in that shop. That's what he loves to do.
Yeah. Good.
And I would be lost without Daryl, and it's going to happen someday, and we know that. So, but I don't know what I'm going to do after Daryl's gone, because he's old school. He checks all my clearances and everything, and I put the motors together, and I got to count, because it don't matter. You can put the motor together right. If you don't have the right clearances and the right machine work, that motor ain't gonna last.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
I don't care what you do right. If it ain't right from the beginning, it ain't gonna last. So,
Yep, it's kind of like in the dirt track. Buddy Mullins used to build mine. Now I got to run that dang crate to be competitive in the IMCA deal. But Buddy Mullins builds you a motor. I ran a motor. Most people run about 30 races and a motor's done. I ran his motors 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, granted, when we took that thing apart after 2 years, and pulled the heads off of it, then pistons kind of slid out of there pretty easy.
well, Buddy Mullins back in the day, he won all them races, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they hated him.
Yeah, because that's all he did was win.
I mean, when he'd show up, they think, "Oh Lord, just give him the prize." I used to, when I was a kid, Phil, I used to sell ice cold Cokes at
Really?
81 Speedway. Yes, sir.
Really?
I used to walk. I make $20,
$20.
$20, and I was a kid, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I get
Well, we
it.
talked about that the other day. My 68 Camaro, my white one, we time is your worst enemy, but we were thinking back, we put that 565 motor in there. It has to be 5 years. And I mean, we've thrashed that thing and we've sprayed nitrous to it. And we're just thinking the other day, that motor owes us nothing. I mean, only thing that we've ever done is change valve springs in it. We had a broken valve spring at one time. We changed it. And I mean, that's just, you're always at the mercy of the parts, but when you got somebody like Bob and Daryl putting those motors together like that and they last, I mean, you can't be upset.
No.
And the thing about it is, hey, we think years. I mean, you think, oh, that was just last year. But if you actually look back at when last year was, it's 6 and 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, trust me. We track a little bit of time, don't you?
And if you don't write it down, you get to doing your research. You think, oh, that was just last year. Well, yeah, but then you get to figure and you think, oh my gosh, that thing's been in there 6 and 7 years.
Batteries.
Where did they go?
We did that. Bob asked me the other day. He said, "When did we change the batteries in the car?" I said, "I was last year."
Yeah.
We looked at it 2019.
And we got the little dates on them batteries, and we think, wow, because the years go by so fast.
Yeah.
That you think it was just the other day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. So anyway, God, we missed the chat line here. Morning, Delbert Art. Morning, James Furman. And where's the phone calls at? You guys run everybody off. Don't have no phone calls or something.
I don't know.
It's that intimidation.
Hey, 316-462-3673. Anything you want to talk about within the drag racing world? I bet these guys can answer if you got your questions. So, and we haven't told them what the price package is yet, Josh.
Yeah,
So
no.
maybe that's why we have no calls, because we didn't let Josh tell them what's in the price package. So each and every caller gets a price package by over $130. And Josh, what's in that package?
So we're going to mail it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on that vehicle. You'll also receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us. You'll get complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which is going to consist of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All
Can
right.
I leave and go call in?
No.
Well, I want it.
Well, you can call in all you want. So,
Well, it sounded good anyway. But
It did
anyway, it's if everybody's watching, like I said, today is a good day at the racetrack. They did scrape it. They
So it's a
got Wayne
prep track.
Roberts. They got Wayne Roberts out there getting it done, and
and Tim and his wife.
and Tim and his wife, and we got some good people that are going to make things happen today. And I told him, I said, I cannot go down a racetrack that's not prepped, because it's not my day to crash my car. So I'm telling you, without a prep track, my Chevy 2 would be gone. I can swear that. So we got to have good traction.
yes, but don't the guys in the what class is that called again? I'm drawing a blank. The big boys,
Pro mods.
pro mods. Don't they have to run on a non-prep track?
No, they have to run on a prep track.
Pro mods run on prep track.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the guys on the show? Like Monza, those guys.
Okay, you're talking about
Outlaws,
Street
Street
Outlaws.
Outlaws.
Street Outlaws. Okay.
That's their game. They go on a no prep track. Okay. And that's the show. That's what it's all about, because everybody likes to watch, cars crash, and they have money running out their ears. So my motto is this: I don't, so I cannot afford to crash my car. And in the Street Outlaws, it's not if you're going to crash, it's when you're going to crash.
Yeah.
Because it's you're on a fine thread there that anything could go loose, and you're running so fast. It's really crazy how fast they go on a no prep track, and people like that because it just puts the risk so far out there that anything can happen.
Yep.
And you see that happen all the time. Like this one guy had an orange car the other day, and he first time out, he just crashed it. Well, in 7 days, they turned around and rebuilt the whole car.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they fixed it.
That's Bobby Ducote.
Yeah, I just couldn't do that. But in our world, I like to have a nice prep track so we can get her down the track and no problem.
So everybody realize what that is. So everybody listening can understand what a prep track is. Basically, they put glue down on the track.
Yeah,
Really
sticky.
Make it real sticky.
Sticky, and they work it in. And when you walk on that track, I'm telling you, got to make sure.
Keep
if
moving.
you have sandals on, you could fall because their sandal will stick to the track, and your foot will come out of them.
Okay, and they prep the whole 8th mile, right?
Yeah, they'll spray the whole 8th mile and drag it, and they got these rubber tires on the back, and they get it nice and sticky. So, I mean, we're going to see some fast cars today. We got funny cars out there. We got pro mods out there. Like I said, they got $10,000 to win first place just for the pro mods.
Plus the weather's going to be nice.
Yeah, it's not
This is
supposed to be
the
too
best
hot.
time of the year really to race because it's not hot for us to set in the cars like it is when it's 110 out. The track temperature is going to be good. It's not going to, kill you to sit in the stands and watch it because there'll be a nice little breeze and everything. So it'll be a good time. We realize that there is a lot going on, but if you're not doing anything, or if you go out to the air show or whatever and then slide out there, definitely come in and check us out and say hi. And it said there's going to be a lot of fast cars. The index cars, the 750 and the 580 is going to be the slowest thing out there, and that's not slow.
So $20 to get in. Kids 12 and under are free.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
And the best time to really get there is probably about 4 o'clock, is what you're trying to say.
I would say, yeah. And then that means the heat's going to be off the track. I mean, it'll start cooling off from there.
Okay, Kansas
Be a
International.
beautiful evening. Should be a beautiful evening out there.
Okay, 316-462-3673. Love to hear from you. If you got any questions for Bob or the crew here with their crew shirts on. I sure do like those shirts. When
You
like to
want one?
No,
you want me to get you one?
No.
You won't wear it.
You know
I
why?
got you one.
You know why I wouldn't wear it?
Why? Because that's Chevy and
No.
on it.
Oh no, because it's got to have this logo on it.
Well, I understand, but it's okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like people give me hats and stuff like that. You know.
You
Sorry,
gotta-
I
you
just
gotta
can't do it.
You got to be loyal.
You got to be loyal to who you got to know where your bread's buttered, right?
It'd be
Something like-
smart.
It
Yeah.
would be kind of smart, wouldn't it?
On
No,
another,
we have a good time. If you do come out today, come out and talk to us. We're in our game. We're having a good time. We're out there in our environment. Boy, that's a whole different world out there. And don't feel free to come up and say hi.
Where do you guys pitting? Do you have a standard place where you pit?
Yeah, we're on the main return load, right behind the bleachers, and we're right on the end of the bleachers. If you walk just north of the bleachers on the main return load,
we're right at an 8th
we're
mile.
right there at the 8th mile.
That's what I like about drag racing is it's kind of, like in dirt track, you got to buy a pit pass to get in the pits. Drag racing, you can just go and mingle through everybody and see all the stuff.
And that's true. Once you're in
see
the
all the cars
races,
and-
you walk through all the cars and walk
Check
through
them
and talk
out, say hi to
everybody.
the drivers, and get to know
crew and everybody and stuff. Okay, so let's go through like in dirt track. We go out and we run a race, and then we come back in and we got tires to look at, fuel to look at, charge the battery, look, and different things we do to the car and stuff. So you guys go out and run around. What's your kind of your maintenance or your service that you do between rounds? What do you actually have to do to these
We
cars?
cool them back down. We cool them back down, charge the batteries up. We have put the chargers on them, so we got to make sure we got a full charge because our cars don't have an alternator on them.
Right, mine doesn't either.
Okay, and so we got to put a generator or a battery charger on them and charge them up, and then we check the tires. We got to make sure everything's on our game just to make sure nothing happened in between that next round. Check the wheelie bar height, everything. So no leaks. Just kind of look it all over and ready for the next round.
So there's no. How often do you change your rear tires?
Oh, we can run. It depends how much racing we do, but we can run a good 3 years on them.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Yep.
think that. I
Yep.
thought you wore them out faster than that.
No, we do a burnout. When I do a burnout, I don't have to do the burnout. I do that for the fans.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, I put a John Force burnout out there and come, like maybe stands up, puts on a good show. I do not have to do that. I could do a burnout and pull up to the line, but I do that because I'm a biggest show off are out there.
Show off her.
Show off her.
And then I'm the next show off E.
And that has cost me tons of money through the years, Phil.
I'm sure it has. Well, keep doing that big burnouts. You know?
I do it, and it is
Just
a
keep doing
good show, and it looks good, and smoke rolling, and I love it because if I was a fan, I would love to see that. So I try to put myself out in your shoes, being in the bleachers.
Okay, we had BG sponsored Bob Tasca, and we had a little show down at BG here about a month or so when he raced in Topeka. And he was there, and he talked to everybody about the burnouts and stuff. And they have the throttle stop on their cars at about an 1/8 throttle when they do their burnout. So now when you're doing your burnout, are you wide open?
I don't have no throttle stops.
You're wide open, giving her hell, huh?
I got her done. I actually probably, a lot of people can, and it does happen. People hurt the car in the burnout.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, they come out there $8,000 just letting her fly, and then it launches, and boy, you think, oh.
Wouldn't have done that.
What happened there?
Yeah,
but I've done it many years, and I've seen people do their burnouts and hurt their motors, hurt their cars.
Yeah. Okay. So now changing the oil in your cars. How often you do that?
Not too bad. I mean, we probably race by half a year and maybe change them.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't change it.
Hey, Phil,
Well,
what you're into? You're in a dirt track. You're racing through dirt. You know what I'm saying?
I
Them
got some big
motors
air
are
filters on them,
sucking
too.
in all that dirt. Still, you got an air filter, but it still sucks in dirt.
You run an air filter?
No.
Yeah, you don't, do you?
And we're out there, and hopefully there's
Half a year you change oil.
Uh-huh.
Think all that fuel.
The oil really don't break down, Phil. It's the dirt in the oil that you want to try to get out.
Okay, so let's go like Josh just brought up. Aren't you kind of washing the cylinders down with, what are you running? You running gas or alcohol?
Gas. We're not in alcohol. We're in gas.
You're not gas, dude?
116.
116.
Mhm.
So,
now, if you run alcohol, then you have to change your oil a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause
Our biggest expenses are our gas and our nitrous. That's what we purchase every time we go to race. Tires will last like a couple of years, like Bob said. But the nitrous, blowing through it, come fill bottles back up.
Okay, so let's take that bottle of nitrous. I seen something. Was that a 30-pound bottle?
Yeah.
No, that's a 20-pound bottle.
20?
No, that's our 50. Which ones are those?
Okay, let's take it. So a 30-pound bottle.
Those are the 10 pound. Those are the
bottles.
10-pound
They're
bottles.
Okay, those
I
are
had to
10
think
pounders.
about that.
Okay, so now
10-pound bottles.
So how many runs will you get out of a 10-pound bottle of nitrous?
On 8 Mile, you can run them two times, but we want to make sure that we got a full bottle.
So you charge it each time. You have a full bottle each time going down the track.
So what do you, as far as when do you apply the nitrous?
That really depends on how you have the car set up. Like Bob, he'll spray about right off the line. Once he leaves, he starts to spray.
As soon as I let off the tranny brake, everything activates.
See,
nitrous is on.
On mine, I've got a button. I've got two. I can activate mine with a button, or if I want to do it a different way on a
you got a grid.
A grid where I can bring that in.
You can bring it in.
I usually bring mine in at the end because I don't have to go as fast right away in the 580. But if I see that I'm getting beat, I can squeeze the button and put it on them. Now the Corvette will be different. Yeah, the Corvette's a little bit different. It's no different than a turbo car that has a scramble button. You got that extra 5-10 pounds of pressure where you can hit that button and scramble it. And,
you're not worried about breaking out then when you hit that extra button, a little squeeze in?
I don't. You're losing though.
Well, the thing is when you're doing heads up racing like this and you're running 580 class, you're going to know the temperature of the air, track temperature, things like that. You're going to know where you're at. For instance, a couple weeks ago, we were down in Arc City running. The car was running a 586. Well, I couldn't leave that much on the table because these other guys were 581, 5.0s, 5.80s with a 0.2, 0.3. So if I'm out there and I know I'm watching the racers, I'm seeing what they're doing. And so if I come up to race them, I know kind of where they're at. I know how well my car runs. I know if the air temperature is off a little bit, I can just get out there at the end and I can pop it just for a minute and I can get closer to that 580. So it's kind of really knowing your car very well on how it's going to react to the weather.
It's going to fall.
Yeah. And the bracket racers are really good at that because they measure water molecules in the air and track temperature and all that stuff. So we take a little bit of their philosophy and add it to ours, but we pretty much, we don't use a lot of fancy stuff. We're pretty much, when we're in our cars, we're 100% out. And then if we got to let off, we let off. We don't back it out with grids and stuff.
We
like that.
old school stuff. We like to hit that.
Okay, so let's go another step here too. When you talk about air temperature and all that kind of stuff, do you guys monitor that?
We don't, but the bracket racers do.
You don't?
No, we don't. We're not that.
We just go by our time slip. We can tell by our time slip whether our cars, what they're 60 footing.
Okay, so how many practice rounds do you get before you actually start racing?
2.
Usually 2, sometimes squeeze in 3. Like your Corvette today, Steve. We're probably going to try to get as many as we can to make sure it's on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing on the light today, all the 580, 750 is going to be a instant green.
Yep.
Okay. It means you get up there, pull 2 bulbs on, and look for the green light. And when it comes on, boom, you're gone. On the 490 class, I'm going to go ahead and go with our
410.
410. So we're going to go with that one. So, and have a good time there. So
Our rules are a little bit different from anybody else's. We don't allow any kind of electronics except for you can have your trans brake, your line lock.
Okay, let's go back so the listeners know what that means. Of course, we know what it means, but what's a trans brake? Tell everybody what a trans brake does.
Well, trans brake, simplest term is when you go up to the line and you see the cars, they go in the bulb and then they stop really hard and they're set. What we're doing inside the car is we have a button that we push down. That button basically locks the transmission between reverse and first gear, puts it kind of in a neutral state.
like a plunger.
So you, at that point in time, you also have what's called a rev limiter. So the rev limiter only allows the RPMs to go up so high. So what happens is when I see the second bulb come on from the other guy, I'm putting my foot to the floor. The RPMs are coming up to 5,000. I'm waiting for the light to go. As soon as I see that light go, I'm pulling my hand off of that button. As soon as you pull the hand off of that button, I mean, it's millionths of a second. It releases that transmission to the forward gear, and that's what's called the launch. And that's when you're taking off.
So it's different than back in my day. We had stall converters to bring the RPM up.
Right.
So now you're just putting them in neutral, basically.
Well, we got a stall converter on the tranny to let the RPMs come up. But what this does is lock the car in one place. So when you let off the tranny brake, you're not letting off your foot off the brake. You know, back in our day, we didn't have tranny brakes. We had to have the foot on the brake to hold the car and then push the gas down. Remember, Phil?
Yep.
And then you kind of let off the gas and hit the brake, or hit the gas and let off the brake at the same time. This way, you hit the tranny brake and put it to the floor. And you ain't got your foot on the brake. The tranny's holding the car in place.
Okay. So now then that's one thing. Now you brought the other thing up, which is a line lock. So let's tell everybody what a line lock does, because that's a totally different deal too.
A line lock is when you're in the water box and you want to stay in the water box. So you pump the brakes, you hit the button, and what that does is hold fluid to the front brake wheel cylinders, and it locks the front brakes and it releases the back brakes. And so then you do a burnout. And then when you're ready to come out of the water box, you just let off the button and it releases the fluid, and then you come rolling on out.
Our new Mustangs have that built in from the factory.
Yeah.
A line lock.
Yeah.
I've got one on my 2020 Camaro. But I tell you what, to get to it, it's not just pushing a button. You got to do this and scroll down, and it's just a pain in the ass.
Oh, I agree.
It's just, I mean, with the Chevys anyway, because I've got to go over to a settings menu, then I got to come down. And the thing about Chevy's line lock system is it automatically locks you in for 15 seconds. So now you can't. So when you're sitting there burning the tire, you only need like 2 or 3 seconds, but it's going to hold it for like 15 seconds.
Oh, really? See, ours, you can hit it there and hold it and then
Release it.
release it and let it go.
Yeah, which is probably, in my opinion, a lot better setup because you have more control over it. And just like my launch in a stock car, my launch will only let me go up on the RPMs like 2,400. That's it. Yeah. So, and then the car starts wanting to move around a little bit. So,
well, the new cars today, the technology is just incredible.
Yeah, it
is. There's no way you know everything that car's got. It's crazy.
Like Josh and I've talked about in the show, if you took and put a computer screen up and put all the sensors and things that cars are controlling today, it'd blow you away. What's going on and what's happening in the back screen, as you would say, of those computers controlling what they're doing, what they're adjusting and monitoring. It's crazy what's going on in these cars.
Even just sitting there idling, that ain't even driving down the road or in any type of weather or,
all the functionality going through there with the technology telling it to do this and ECMs. I mean, the downside is that is one little fuse blows and the whole system says, I'm done.
Yeah. Well,
that's crazy too.
Yeah. Well, or one module decides it wants to go down and it takes 3 or 4 down with it.
And Phil, I don't know how you guys even work on that stuff.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's a different ball game. It's like I said, if back in my day, if you walk into a shop and a technician had a shop manual out, he didn't know what the hell he's doing. Today, if you walk into a shop and he doesn't have his laptop out, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a total different world of games and stuff.
the new technology today, it just, there's no way. Because if you think you finally get it understanding, tomorrow it changes.
That's what Josh said too. Josh said, if you're a technician, you're not on your game in 6 months, you're out of the game.
That's what I'm saying. You finally get it under control, and you think, okay, I think I got her whipped, and then
Here
6
comes something.
months starts all over.
It does.
This world is crazy.
It is a crazy world right now. Hey, Josh, we got a question here from Rick Kerr. I just bought a 2020 Ford Edge, and the outside temperature display is not working. What needs to be done to fix this?
So what I would wonder, a couple of questions. One, is it displaying, but it's displaying dashes, or displaying incorrectly, or it's just not up on the menu at all from that side? And so, and 2020 Edge.
Rick, if you're listening still or whatever, sorry, I missed your comment there. We can holler at you after the show real quick and get some questions for you too, Rick.
But so if it's just displaying dashes, there's probably an indication that there's something going on with the temperature sensor on the vehicle itself. If it's just not a functionality or not displaying on the display, then there may be something going on as far as some type of programming issue or corrupt data, as we'll we were just talking about, from that side of it too. So a couple of different things could be going on with it.
Rick, we'll give you a call after the show in case if you don't listen still or whatever, we can call you and get you fixed up too. It's displaying, but not now. It was displaying, but not now. So it was up.
Not displaying. It's on an Edge.
2020 Edge.
So that there's got to be something going on with the with one of the modules, because that's not a selectable. It's selectable parameter.
You can't take it off the screen, which you can't
take it on and off. So
yeah, Rick, we're probably gonna have to get that thing over here and check a look at it and see what we got going on. We'll give you a shout out after the show, though, Rick. Anyway, gentlemen, Kansas International Dragway today, going to be fun and exciting. Also tomorrow, best time for spectators, get out there today at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, maybe at the latest. And you think you'd be done by 10 o'clock? That's pretty cool.
I think so. I think they're going to run a good show today. A lot of spectators come, and they'll get to enjoy.
Hit those sponsors, because it takes all these races go and stuff like that. Let's give them a little more.
They got funny cars out there going to run. What, Steve? 11, 1, 4. I mean, they're going to run like 4 or 5 times.
I think they'll probably run closer to noon. 11 o'clock is going to be box, no box to begin with. What they'll do is they'll get those. And box, no box means in our language is if you have a computer or you have any kind of electronics, they'll let you run in the box feature. If no box, which is what we have, you can run in that feature too. So that basically just the difference between technology classes and old school classes, which
who can set their box better than the other guy in the
and I don't want to take anything away from those guys either. But to me, what you guys are doing is drag racing. When you're sitting there using electronics to control your car, do your stuff, to me, it's not the driver doing the car.
I like the driver.
Yeah.
Today, I like old school. I like to go out and have a good time, and I see a light, I let off that tranny brake. I don't have a delay box that counts it down for you or nothing like that. I like my reaction time.
I get it.
Oh, one guy that we didn't mention that's on the stall racing team that's always been a big part of what we do is Pat Sullivan. Pat Sullivan does all of our wiring for us. Yes. When it comes to electrical and technology, all we do is tell Pat, hey, the car's not doing this, and he'll come out with his computer, like you said, and he'll hook it up and he'll look at it. And what really is fascinating with him is like the cars that have the grids on them and things right now, he can throw the computer on it and he can do a mock run on it, which actually shows you what the car, should do from the parameters that are set. So we definitely rely heavily upon.
That's on the grid. See, I don't have a grid. Steve's got some grids on his car that I don't mess with the computer. I just don't. So mine's old school MSD box, whole 9 yards, and if it don't work, we change the box and change that. But the new grids, the ignition part of it, and keeps it firing where it's
timing and all that stuff. What it's doing.
It's basically newer technology MSD box.
It's computerized in a sense, but you're really controlling it. You're telling it what parameters you want. I mean, it is a little bit of I don't say cheating. It is a little bit of advantage. Say if let's say that I run in a 580 class. Let's say I'm running a 570 5 or whatever, I can go back and I can knock out little increments of timing in there, so I get closer to that 580. Which, is it fair? It is, because it's part of the ignition system. It's not part of making you a better driver. It's tuning your car. So
you still got to release the training brake.
yeah, you still got to be on your game. The number one thing is, when you leave, you better leave on time, because if you don't, it doesn't matter how good a racer you are, doesn't matter how fast your car is, you're going to get beat. It all starts there. Like Bob told me a long time ago, it's your race to lose. When you get up there, if you get beat off the line, you chose to get beat because you weren't ready. Yeah, you were not in there. So
yep, exactly.
Okay, let's get some sponsors.
Yeah, we'll run through this real quick. This is the 750, excuse me, the 580 index 5.80. Mel Hambelton Ford again. Phil Nightingale and Lisa. Thank you guys very much for everything you guys do. Definitely appreciate it. Wichita Dyno, Chris Lovett down there. Any needs that you have, dyno, regular tunes. Matter of fact, he's going to be working on my Camaro. We're going to do probably some heads and some upgrades. It's just not fast enough. Stall Racing, Bobby Stall there in Newton.
Who's that cat?
I tell you what,
Daddy.
hey, if you break, it don't matter if you break down within a mile or an hour and a half radius. Bob's got a trailer. He'll come and get you. He'll pick it up. He'll bring it back to the shop. And probably the number one thing about it is knowing what he's doing, and then the response time. That's what people like, is they give him a call.
A lot of garages, they're so busy, and I'm old school guy. If you call me, I just kind of picture yourself in that position. I'd be stranded, no one to help me. So usually I stop what I'm doing. I go get in my trailer and go get them off the road. And a lot of people say, well, I can't get to you for 2 weeks because we're so busy, so I try to.
Well, there's been plenty of times we've been out there just messing around and get a call, and he's right there off the highway, I-35 or 135, and you got people coming through. I remember the one time a guy was hauling a horse trailer, and he was coming from somewhere up north going down south, and he lost a tire and tore up a bunch of stuff, and Bob went and got him and brought him in and had him out the next day, and the guy's like, "There's no way I can repay you.
No way else. No one else would.
I mean, it was on a Sunday. Bob went up there, got the parts, had them changed down. The guy was back on the road. It'd probably been there a week or two, or had to find another way.
Drive shafts, same thing.
Yeah, horse trailer. I mean, big deal. So, Clear Direction, Mario Williams. Again, thanks, Mario. Appreciate everything. Warren's Automotive, Warren Blanc. They're in Keachai. Acme Doc. Procon Construction, Tony Loomis, and again, Holzman and the Holzman family.
To tell you about Tony on Procon, he's our
crew chief.
And when we go to our cars, Tony makes sure everybody's got everything done and checked. And all I got to do is just look at Tony and say, Tony, we're ready. He goes, I got you covered. So we all got to focus on driving.
There you
know
go.
what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. and Braxton Stall.
Yeah,
Braxton puts me in.
My boy, he comes out and he don't drive them, but he loves being around them.
He always puts me in my car and makes me feel safe, make sure I'm buckled in.
Okay, we got Newton Valley Center, Rick Bernard. Then we got Auto Smart Choice Powertrain, Scott Baruth in Wichita, Automatic, Morgan, AS Metals Recycling, Aerospace Support, Big Rim Racing, and that is Goose and Lizzie. Okay, and CJ Automotive Tire, Dave Norman. And then remember this, Kiss My Axe. AXE. All right. Vanessa Fletcher.
You kind of have a hard time getting that out.
I got to clear it because
I know. Trust me. I know.
Phil, people. Bobby just told him to kiss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we got Daryl Palmer. So Daryl has been around for a long time, and he does our machine work, and you can't thank him enough because me and Steve wouldn't even have a race car without Daryl.
Very true. It takes a lot of people to make these little races go. So thanks to all those businesses and people and everything that make this happen. And trust me, it takes a lot of people to put on races and make them get going and keep the year going and all that stuff too. So today, Kansas International Dragway is the place to be. 4 o'clock, about the best time to get out there to watch some great racing. And so there's really kind of about 5 classes run tonight.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6.
5 or 6 classes to run.
Yeah.
And the fastest cars are going to be the funny cars. How fast will they go?
I don't know. I couldn't say that. There's going to be pro mods.
Pro mods. I forgot about the pro mods. So.
I can't say the funny cars.
Well, Brandon down in Arc City, 388. He set the new track record down in Arc City. So
388 in an 8th mile. So how fast is he running?
What do you run down there? 200 and something?
It's got to be close to 200. I don't know if it's over 200. It's pretty dang close. We can ask him, but
I can't remember. Yeah.
that's fast.
That G-force of that got to be pretty cool too.
I couldn't imagine it. I mean, mine's fast, let alone that. And, you know, once you get used to it, ain't no big deal. It's just trying to get stopped if you get in trouble.
Your brain catching back up with your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't imagine John Force and all them guys doing that.
Well, you guys have something out here today around 4:00, don't you?
We got a car show coming up, and Josh, you know the name of that car
Yeah,
show. I'm trying to draw a
Listen, I
blank.
thought that was a flyer right there for it.
Got
but
too
I
many
was
things
gonna
going
pull
on and stuff
up
with that
today.
too. But yes, we have a car show here today, 4 to 8. And so if you're looking for, after you get done at the drag strip, you want to come check out some hot rods or whatever. But it's raising money for the little girl that got electrocuted. And so
I'm
that's what
trying
it's
to
for and
remember the
everything
name
else
of it.
too. So 4 to 8 here at the dealership. So come out and check out some of the hot rods and everything we might have on display here too. So gentlemen, hey, thanks for hanging out with us this hour. Always fun to have you guys here and hear what's going on in the drag world and everything else.
We
Bobby?
haven't done a lot of racing this summer, Phil. We have went out one time and it hasn't rained all summer. We go
Yep.
out to race and guess what happened?
Rain.
It rained out. I mean, and we got some crops out in the field, and I was talking to Daryl Bagel. Goes, well, Bob, if you wanted some rain, all you had to do is
I
go
was gonna
racing.
say, it
Yeah.
turns out you should have went racing more.
Yeah, I just went
Yeah.
racing. It rained. So
And that's right. That's where I should be right now is in Salina. Should have raced last night and tonight. We got rained out in Salina,
Yeah.
so it's
So-
over for
it's fun, guys.
We'll be going down to Tulsa in a couple weeks down there to the showdown in T-Town.
We're going to see how that works out. Hopefully, they have a class for us, Steve. That'd be
They got the 6-0.
the 6-0 and we need a 5-0.
We'll see. That's a big event.
Yeah, no.
That's
okay.
big
Take-
boys there too.
sounds great. Anyway, gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with this hour. And as always, thanks for
Thank you.
the partnership and everything you guys do. And let us know
Um,
how we can keep supporting you and help keep drag racing a big thing here in Wichita.
Phil,
That's-
thank you guys for everything you guys do.
You're very welcome. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And not many calls today, but that's okay. We'll get you on the next time. We'll get Rick Curry a call and get his temperature display fixed and everything else too. So, guys, good luck tonight and have fun, be safe, and see how
Yeah.
fast you can go.
That's the main thing. When you win a race is when you come home in one piece.
That's exactly correct.
It
Trust me,
don't
I know
matter.
that
If
too.
you won and crashed your vehicle, you didn't win.
You didn't win. You didn't win. That's
you come
exactly
home in one piece, you won the race.
exactly right. All right, gentlemen, good luck. Have fun. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll talk to everybody next Saturday here at Live at Underhood Show. Thanks very much.